All right, well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Household Journeys. So what I want to show you guys today is what to do if you have a fence that's kind of starting to lean over here. So my fence is pretty wobbly. The post there is starting to deteriorate, but I don't want to replace the entire post. I want something a little bit more of a quick fix. And so here's what I'm going to do. So right here where the post is starting to fail, this is where the fence is starting to sag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 2x4 right here on top of the seam where these old 2x4s met, and this will actually create a lot of stability at the top of the fence. And you see this gap right here? So that gap will end up closing once I pull this forward, put the new 2x4 on there, and it'll be good to go. All right, so what I'm going to start doing first is I'm going to grab the pressure treated piece of lumber, put it up top, okay, and I want the seam to sit approximately in the center. We're just going to kind of eyeball it. You can see it doesn't want to sit flush. So if I pull it forward, okay, that does the trick. Now to keep it like this, I'm going to use some clamps. Okay, so make sure my 2x4s are as flush as possible. And when doing this, anytime you're handling pressure treated wood, you want to be sure that you're wearing some kind of gloves, because the chemicals that they use for pressure treated wood can irritate your skin. So obviously when you do this, the old 2x4s will have kind of dipped a little bit. So be sure to clamp the ends as well. So this part right here is pretty good. There really isn't a gap there. I do have a little bit of a gap here on the left side in the middle, so I'm going to get one more clamp and squeeze those together. As another option when doing this, and you really want to make this very, very secure, you could always put some wood glue in between the 2x4s, but no one ever really uses wood glue when fencing, so it's not that big of a concern. But you know, just an option if you like to be a little bit more precautious with things like this. But this is pretty good right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and screw the 2x4s together. All right, so now to screw the 2x4s together, I'm going to use stainless steel screws. And I really like stainless steel screws for exterior applications because they don't really corrode. You could use screws that are rated for exterior purposes. So some screws have a special kind of coating, especially when used with pressure treated wood, because the chemicals in the pressure treated wood can also deteriorate some screws. But my favorites are stainless steel, and I'm going to use 2.5-inch screws, so that provides a lot of bite between the two boards here. When you screw the pieces of wood together, be sure that you stagger your screws. You don't want your screws too close together and in a straight line, because then that will cause the wood to split along that grain. You want to screw your screws into different grains, so that way the wood does not split. All right, so be sure to always wear eye protection. Now, I like to start from the center out. So I'm doing 4 screws on each side, each one spaced out approximately a foot apart. That should be good enough. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take the clamps off. All right, so there you go. Fence is pretty sturdy. Of course, there's still a little bit of wobble because ideally, if you can, try to replace the post. But as I mentioned earlier, if you're looking for just a quick fix, this is a good option here. Not the prettiest, but it's functional. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, found it informational. This is Household Journeys. Take care.